Good morning. It's a pleasure to be presenting at this week's Gemini call. My name is Mel Cassley, and I'm the Intelligent Systems Lead at Innovate UK Business Connect. I'll be joined by Simon Hart, who's the Head of Cyber Physical Infrastructure at Digital Twins at Innovate UK. We'll be discussing the Digital Twins Energy Grids competition, which opened yesterday. So the future energy grid will face challenges of scale, complexity and uncertainty involving a much greater number of suppliers and variety of energy sources. Digital twinning is an approach that can be used to build, monitor and improve the resilience of systems and critical components. A national capability in digital twinning would support the development of improved energy affordability, stability and security. It would enable the UK to adopt a whole energy systems approach. It would also provide increased resilience in energy grids, greater understanding and awareness of potential issues and emergent behaviours, improved situational awareness and decision support, and the means to intervene in real time to prevent and mitigate the effects of crises. Digital twins will be key in supporting smart networks. So over to my colleague Simon.
Thanks, Mel. Now, as Mel described, the electricity grid and the energy distribution across the UK is being increasingly digitised, and the reason for that is using digital tools, digital controls, modelling and simulation, ultimately digital twins, to provide better prediction, better maintenance, better management of our energy systems. And that's very important because the energy grid has undergone significant transformation as we bring on board lots of new renewable energy sources. Typically, those are rapidly responding dynamic sources such as solar, battery storage, offshore wind. And to manage those, we need fast, data-rich environments for control systems such as operational technologies, for predictive maintenance, and for managing grid stability, and even moving towards dynamic pricing. Now, of course, when you do that, when you bring in lots of new digital technologies, you also open up lots of cyber vectors and risks. Next slide, please. And if we progress to bring on board a lot of new connections to the electricity grid through different devices, through different tools, through different systems such as renewables, that actually does open up a lot of potential cyber threats and cyber threat vectors for hostiles who might wish to disrupt energy supply. And when we designed this competition, it was designed together with the Ofgem SIF programme, which some of you may be aware. We wanted to focus heavily on data and cybersecurity. So this competition really is, if you have got an idea related to overcoming a challenge using data and or cybersecurity or securing that data, moving towards digital twins, so you don't have to be developing fully digital twins as part of this competition, you've just got to be on that intent, delivering the underpinning technologies, then this competition is for you. Mel.
Thank you. So we recently held a competition launch event featuring presentations from project partners. If you missed the launch event, you can access that via the recording via the link on this slide. So to give a little context to the competition and why it's being run, you may be aware of Ofgem Strategic Innovation Fund, which is an ongoing partnership between Ofgem and Innovate UK that was set up to help with the drive towards net zero and carbon savings within the energy sector. One of the requirements of Ofgem SIF is that funded projects must be able to demonstrate a carbon saving. Now, there's a real need for getting the foundations in place to make the UK energy grid ready for digital twins. However, the work that needs to be done for this to happen would not be able to successfully compete within Ofgem SIF on carbon emissions reductions, hence the formation of this competition. And as Simon mentioned before, at this stage, we're not specifically looking for projects to develop actual digital twins. The real aim is to get the fundamentals of the data exchange doing real stuff. So if you want to do some testing on real controls and substations, that's what we would like to see. There's a huge amount of guidance also on the data side on the Ofgem SIF website, and you'll find the link to that via the competition webpage. So just a little bit about our project partners, and to give some background on the competition again, it's funded by UKRI via the Building a Safe and Resilient World strategic theme. That programme has some overarching aims to enable secure and resilient development. This competition is supported by a number of existing programmes and partners, all of which receive funding from this UKRI theme, and we'd encourage collaborations with these programmes in the competition. So Daphne is a hybrid high-performance computing platform that's designed to work with the infrastructure engineering research community. It provides a place where people from multiple organisations can collaborate, depositing data and models, enabling them to then use the computing platform to share those models and combine them together into a system of systems approach to performing scenario analysis. Ensign is an energy efficiency focused project that will help drive towards the UK's 2050 emissions reductions targets. The project is focused on energy distribution systems, looking at industrial decarbonisation, hydrogen, heat and electricity. These are all brought together into an integrated energy system digital twin to look at the challenges and opportunities presented by the interactions between these energy systems. And finally, Digital Twin Network Plus is an interdisciplinary network looking to develop breakthroughs that lead to a new generation of systems digital twins, whilst providing broad and deep underpinning research across multiple disciplines. And again, for more detail on these, you can look to the competition launch event recording that was held last week. So now to look at eligibility criteria. There's a total fund of 1.2 million and we'll be funding projects from between 100 to 300,000. They must start by the 1st of October 2024 and be completed by the 30th of September 25. You must have at least one grant claiming SME within your collaboration, and you must carry out all of the project work within the UK with the intent to also exploit the results of that within the UK. The project length we're looking for is between 6 to 12 months, and the lead organisation can be a UK business of any size, and we're allowing subcontractors into the competition. Key dates then. These are the key dates to bear in mind for the competition. As you can see, the competition opened yesterday and there'll be a competition brief on Thursday this week. The competition then closes on the 24th of May, and it's really important to note that the submission deadline is at 11 o'clock on the dot. Applicants will then be informed whether or not they've been successful by the 28th of June. So to apply, if you follow the link in this QR code, that will send you to the competition page where you can find detailed guidance on how to apply to the competition, as well as useful links such as the aforementioned Ofgem SIF site. The briefing event on Thursday will go into much more detail on the application process, so I'd strongly recommend attending that, and there will be a recording of that as well if you're unable to make it. And that concludes the presentation. Thank you.
So our first question here, Melanie and Simon, is to yourself. Is the obvious cyber threats to the energy sector are being realised in Ukraine and the US at the moment? What evidence of hostile activity is being given to participants so that they can threat model the attack paths to their systems and processes?
That's a great question. What I would recommend is go and have a look at two things. First of all, the briefing page, the launch page for the event that Mel ran last week. That one includes, on the recording, it includes a briefing by NCSC about some of the things that they are looking at. Then also, if you go to the actual competition page, that's the one on the .gov.uk Innovate pages. Click on the supporting information, and you'll see a whole load of additional links that you can go and look at. Bear in mind that this competition is one piece of a larger program, so there is a lot of other support available through the project partners that Mel showed earlier. And also, if you're getting down into the sort of hardware IoT level, I'd recommend talking to our Digital Security by Design colleagues, which is dsbd.tech, because they have secure hardware available to people if they want to go and do some prototyping as well. All the links for that are on the competition pages.
So the next question here is from Mel and Simon, please. Understand this call is not about developing a digital twin, but is there any follow-on funding already secured or planned for this call for larger projects, also including the DG development?
Also a really good question. At this point, I can't say there is, but it is something that we hope there to be. And the reason for saying that is because in terms of government spending cycles, you appreciate we're coming towards the end of a spending review, and we're looking at some potential large events like elections. So I can't commit to say that there will, but what I would say is that if you go and have a look at the Ofgem SIF program, they're doing their round 2 show and tell events this week as well. Those will go onto YouTube on the Innovate channel. Hopefully either this week or early next week, or if you want to go to the events, you can. That program is exploring how they could support this type of project as well. So if there is going to be future activity in this space, then we've got a number of potential sources of support. Everybody knows this got to be done, right? So everybody is looking at this. There are policies in place to make sure that this type of thing happens. The exact funding source is to be confirmed, but it's, I'd say, very likely there will be further follow-on funding. We've got to see what the response is like to this one, the sort of projects that come in, to prove that there is a really good demand for exactly this type of project.
And the last 3 questions, Melanie and Simon, I wonder if you could take all 3. I'll read them out first and then whichever order. Is there a list of suitable cyber security partners to support groups taking part? What time is the briefing event on Thursday? And can startups from India be eligible to apply for this competition?
Good questions again. So cybersecurity partners. Yes, so Mel has organised, there's a mural board available. The links, we've actually got a page on Digital Twin Hub in the discussion forums, so you can find the links to that in there. Watch the webinar back as well. Have a look at the pages of competition pages and the other project partners that are available. Briefing event 10 o'clock Thursday, and I know that we do clash with an Ofgem SIF briefing show and tell on that day as well. It's a busy day for energy. Can start in India. You have to be a UK registered business to lead an application. Subcontractors are allowed. All the terms and conditions for that are given on the competition page.